Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am ManyNinjas. Welcome back to Retro Ninja Gaming, where we're continuing our run on Rockman 4 minus Infinity. Last time we left off, we dusted off yet another robot master in this particular title, as well as garnered an item which, as strangely as it sounds based on the description, increased Rockman's cruelty, aka made him do extra damage on his critical hits. This time around we're going after number 6, which in this case is going to be Ringman. Please welcome back, lasers. Thankfully, these rainbow-colored lasers are not the same match as what you would find in the Quick Man stages from Mega Man 2, as they won't actually kill you in one hit. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean they still don't do a stupid amount of damage. Oddly enough, we actually run into the first mini-boss of the stage, which, while with a Mega Buster, this would actually be somewhat problematic. With anything else that can have Pierce, it's basically dead in 2 hits. Moving on to the next segment here. The trick behind these platforms, when you're standing on them, they will automatically begin scrolling and technically disappearing as they go along, and they can scroll and disappear in both directions. Realistically, the easiest way to get around them is to take a jump around midpoint or as far as you can and just kind of race along there. You keep the upper path, you get a free 1-up for your trouble. In retrospect, I can say about this particular stage is that due to the lasers that are constantly going off, you actually get quite a few different items that will be lying around to help replenish your health as you go along. The game is conspicuously generous at this point, probably because they expect you to get hit by lasers quite a few times along the way. As for this section, basically once you jump across, you're just going to be having a little bit of fun just going through a series of normal enemies at this point. Thankfully, these gear-based enemies from Mega Man 2 are a lot easier when you don't have to run on a treadmill, not that they were necessarily hard beforehand. And in this case, as you can probably guess, the drill weapon makes short work of everything. Thank you for the 1-up, Eddie. At this point, I imagine I'm grabbing quite a few of those at this point, as we meet mid-boss number 2, kind of based off Lo and La from the Kirby series, only there are 3 of them in this case. Now, what the game wants you to realistically do is to jump around them and then use your Mega Buster in order to take them out, but anything that can pierce will do a stupid amount of damage on them and take them out fairly quickly. In this case, these slinky enemies, oddly enough, take more hits than the Mets on the train. Here we have an optional jump big. Goodbye, optional jump big. To be entirely frank, aside from the laser sections at the beginning and what will be appearing at the very end of the stage, Ringman stage is actually remarkably easy for the most part. There's nothing in the middle that will actually cause you a serious threat, really. And even Ringman, I would say, is not overly hard himself once you reach him. If you happen to have any Robot Master weapons at the time, especially the Drill Torpedo, this stage is an absolute cakewalk. Speaking of lasers, please welcome the hardest part of the stage, really. Kind of a gauntlet which has you running away from the lasers all the way into the boss cave. If you happen to have Brightman's weapon, you can use its alternate fire mode by holding up and fire in order to cause a bulb explosion that will actually slow down time. Which in this case is really useful, because I really botched the sliding on quite a few spots there. And after a very brief stage, we happen to find ourselves at Ringman himself now. The revisions on Ringman basically have him chucking a lot more projectiles at you this time around, as well as being able to hold him into place for kind of a holding obstacle or standing obstacle. Unfortunately for him, the water cutter pretty much makes short work of him. I don't think that even took a full 10 seconds there, ladies and gentlemen. After that short and very uneventful boss fight, we now get a hold of the modified Ringman weapon, the Holdable Control Remote Boomerang, or HCR Boomerang for short. We also get a hold of a new adapter for Rush, the Wish Star adapter. What the HCR Boomerang does is basically take your Ringman weapon and make it so that if you hold down the attack button, it will stay in place. And that wraps up this short episode. Join me next time as we face off against a new and improved Toadman that's actually incredibly deadly.